So continuing with the Vimuttimagga, we've covered the area, an introduction on the area of morality, and now we're going to do the Samadhi section. Usually with Theravada teaching, this is what I do, morality, Samadhi, the concentration and meditation and wisdom. So we'll do block by block, rather than just starting and going page by page by page by page through. So spread it out a little bit. So this is called the beginning of the Samadhi section, the distinguishing of subjects of meditation. So distinguishing means to take and look carefully and understand the difference between them, so I can distinguish between things and like that. 38 subjects of meditation, quite commonly doing this. The more times you go through, the more time you get familiar with them. Now the teacher on whom one depends, having observed one's behaviour, teaches one the 38 subjects of meditation. So this is also very interesting. You see people going by the sort of 70 people go and do, sign up for a meditation course, and they just get given a bland, the same technique. This is very much showing, having an insight behind the scenes of meditation in those times. This was in Sri Lanka and also in northern India, where people would come and they would help clean up around the temple. And for quite a while, the teacher would just observe them, the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they were taught, the things they talk about, their temperament, the type of mind they are. Are they the sort of bossy type? Are they the angry type? They're very calm and timid and wishy-washy. Are they the thoughtful type? Do they like to read a lot? Do they do tons of work? Or they're constantly bothered by the sight of people of the other gender, and they can't sort of take their mind off of sex or food or something like this. So then the teacher would give them a suitable meditation. So they eventually call them in and say, right, I want you to go to a cottage, that's sort of like 3 miles up the road, and stay up there. I want you to do this type of meditation, and give them the meditation technique suitable for their temperament. So that's a general guide. Another way you can do it is if you get familiar with what those techniques are meant to be worked for. When you find you're bothered by anger, you can summon up and do the appropriate meditation for it. If you're bothered by lust, you can bring up the appropriate meditation to deal with it. If you need calm and concentration rapidly, you can bring up the appropriate concentration and do it. Of the samatha meditations, and then is your main base to have vipassana all the time, or to do a long block of very dedicated vipassana practice, so that you get that as your main base, and then use these other ones as a complement. And again, he teaches one of the two associated subjects of meditation. Again, he teaches one of the two associated subjects of meditation. I think they've missed out the word 30 there. Again, he teaches one of the 32 associated subjects of meditation. Yeah. Question, what are the 38 subjects of meditation? Notice it's not 40. Normally 40. Answer, namely the 10 Kasinas: earth, water, fire, air. Again, they've got the different sequence of the colours: blue-green, bluey-green, dark turquoise, yellow, red, white, and then space, and then consciousness. Yeah, so all the same. And they don't have their light, interesting, which is just a very intense form of white. But they don't name it as light. 10, then, the next block, the 10 perceptions of putrescence. Putrescence is a corpse goes into putrescence when you leave it out in the open air. Namely, 1, bloatedness. You become bloated. Perception of discoloration. Perception of festering, when it starts to get really rotten. The perception of dismembered, when bits of it start to get broken up and split away. The perception of fissured, they start to go like wrinkled. and the perception of blood stains after a while it falls off and so on. Perception of worminess, so the maggots start to come out, and the perception of the bony skeleton. So this is you may be, for any of you might be married and your husband goes away for a while, or you may be a monk or a nun and taking a celibacy vow, anything like this. To keep the photographs of these kind of things is very much a way to very rapidly drop any fantasy subject and cool the mind down. And the training to do that is a training. A lot of people can be bothered, even if they're like taxi drivers or anyone, can be bothered by this and don't know how to let go of it. They just have to sort of let it wear out, and then later on sort of try to indulge themselves somehow or something like this. But instantly it's just like to unplug it. You just simply totally change the topic of mind, and the mind instantly cools down and withdraws. Then there are what are called the 10 recollections. Is namely the recollection of the Buddha and his qualities, the recollection of the Dhamma, the teachings, the recollection of the Sangha, the recollection of our own and others' virtues, so the precepts of being keeping and so on, good behaviour, recollection of generosity and open-mindedness, liberality, recollection of deities and devas. So just one of these, we gave an hour-long talk that Jack Cornfield gave recently, just about the simple action of when you people coming to die, don't really think of what they've got, the great place they had and how much money in the bank, cars and all that sort of thing. They do tend to recall what good things they did. It can be a little thing, even like that they made someone else's day in a small way. They've been mentoring someone. You might get someone like Carol, or someone looks back and they'll think, no, I've really made that person. So I've been a foundation, a guide for that person. They tell me they get great inspiration from my words or insights or so on. Or you made some generous donation, or even a small thing as well. Tiniest little gestures can come up, but they strike home. So and this is just one of these as well. Each one of these is a very in-depth meditation to gradually get good at. You might get good at 3 of these, like earth, Kasina, and recollection of your own virtues and mindfulness of the body, and the other ones never use it, and then after 8 years or something, suddenly stumble over it. Or it might even spontaneously start happening. Like Chicky started building it's out of the blue. So I went down and spent all this money on a Buddha Rupa, on a Buddha head. Do you know where it came from? I'm making a shrine and clearing a little space. That's a recollection of the Buddha. That's actually a meditation. It spontaneously comes up, or people go out of their way to buy them, and it's like just exciting for them. It means something ancient, and they're really magically wonderful about it. And then looking at it or thinking about it, gazing at it, this is a meditation. Okay, so we'll take a break, and then we'll come back to the distinguishing of the subjects of meditation.